Hey guys, this is Matt from TVM, and I am here with Canadian singer-songwriter Dan Magen. Dan, pleasure to have you.
Lovely to be here.
So, TVM last interviewed you in April of 2011. Okay, what's changed in your life since then? Give us a catch-up.
Well, we put out a record. We toured a lot, played probably a few hundred shows, and I got married. And yeah, that's basically what's happened.
Cool, congratulations. And so tell us about the new record, Oh Fortune.
Oh fortune, bring fortune to spare.
Yeah, it came out last year. It really is the most kind of, for me, creatively pushing record that I've made. And it really is the most collaborative recording that I've made yet, in terms of having tons of input from the band. And at this point, the band is just a much more kind of assembled thing than it ever was before, and more steady and stable.
So you mentioned a lot of collaboration. Which musical artist across the board, across the globe, would you want to collaborate with?
Well, I mean, I've been an insane Radiohead fan since I was a teenager, so they would definitely be, in my top of the wish list.
So you recently released a 7-inch entitled Radicals. One thing that really caught our eye at TVM was the album artwork. Where did you find that image?
Well, it was actually a girl named Robin Kotick, who works for Arts and Crafts. Kind of came up. I had sent her this blurb, like this paragraph of my writing of just my thoughts on the word radicals and how overused it is in kind of political social fodder, and how people of radical political leanings calling other people radical to make themselves appear more moderate, and so often it's just pot calling the kettle black.
That's awesome. It's really cool. Is that your most politically charged work so far?
Well, the songs on there aren't necessarily that politically charged. I mean, the first track is called We Want to Be Pleasantly Surprised, Not Expectedly Let Down. It's kind of just a comment on how we're constantly balancing between having hope for humanity, and you have to have optimism, and you must believe that people are good, and then on the other hand we keep having genocides and foreign policy that suppresses poor people and keeps them poor. Anyways, it's just all these things. It's sort of like we're always in this balance between totally letting ourselves down and amazing stories popping up of people doing incredible, compassionate things. So
cool. So what's next after this tour?
Well, we head to Europe with a great Toronto songwriter named Jason Collette, and then we're bouncing around Europe for a little while, and then we're going to take a little bit of time off through the winter, and I'm actually going to start doing some film scoring kind of work, which is really exciting because it's new, different for me, and it'll be a new challenge, something I'm looking forward to taking head on.
Growing up in Vancouver, what kind of music did you listen to? What was the first record or album you ever purchased?
Well, I remember people had Columbia House back in the day, where you could like mail away for tapes. I remember getting like Pearl Jam 10 on tape. The first CD I ever bought with my own money was probably Aerosmith's Get a Grip, which I loved. I was like 8 years old, and I just thought it was so badass. Things change. But when I was a little kid, it was all Beatles. I was just listening to my parents' records, and I had 2 older siblings, which really helps. If you're the youngest of 3, you immediately have all this kind of cultural reference because your older siblings are kind of introducing things to you and stuff like that.
And one last thing, so we hear you write for the Huffington Post. How did that all start about?
Yeah, well, I don't know. They just reached out, and I guess I'd written something for the Guardian Arts a year or 2 ago, and they just reached out asking if I wanted to kind of write about the Olympics in Vancouver and how that experience was. So I did. I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoy kind of expressing myself through multiple means. I've had music as a means of expression now for years, but I've actually really enjoyed kind of just writing for the purpose of writing on topics and stuff. So I don't know if that'll continue. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to do more of that. But yeah, it's been an interesting thing, kind of being reached out to, and it's weird when when you start to get a little bit more noticed on the music side, people start asking your opinions about other things, which is kind of strange. But I'm a very opinionated guy, so I'm open to it.
That's awesome. Well, there you guys have it. I'm Matt with TVM, and this is Dan Magen. Thanks for watching.